Wondering what exercises to help you improve your posture? Well, as you can tell, there are a lot out there that you can actually try. And we're going to be going over some more today to help you improve your posture on a regular basis. I'm Dr. AJ Passes from the Active Family Chiropractic and Wellness Center in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. And in our office, we believe that a healthy spine is a healthy life. So with all of our patients that come into our office, we make sure that they're improving in their posture so they can get the most out of their life. Now, when we think about poor posture, a lot of the time we're fixated on your upper body and the way that it looks like this. But what you need to understand is that your lower body as well can be affected by bad posture. So one thing that I want to focus on today is understanding that you can usually develop a lot of tightness into your lower back, or what we call the erector spinae muscles, right? So what I want to go over first are a few stretches to help you loosen up these muscles to help with the lower posture, okay? Now I'm going to show you 3 different variations. The first 2 are going to be on the floor. So nice and easy here, all you need to do is you're going to grab both knees and you're going to bring them in towards your chest as tight as you can. Now with a stretch like this, you may feel some of it initially into the glutes, but the further that you pull, you're actually getting into your lower back as well, all right? And with stretches, it's important to note that you're holding it for at least 30 seconds when you do this, all right, to get a full stretch. You can hold it up to a minute if you would like to, and doing it up to 3 times is usually a good number to work with. Now, one way that we can get into your lower back or your erector spinae muscles one side at a time is to lie down on your side, okay? And the way that we do this is you're gonna bring your leg forward, and then your arm is gonna go back as far as you can, okay? So you almost wanna kind of drive your arm or your elbow back as far as you can go there. And where you're gonna feel is almost like a wringing out of your spine or the muscles adjacent to it. So you may feel this up into the upper back, but mostly into the lower back and even going into the glutes as well if those are pretty tight, all right? So again, remember with these stretches, you're gonna go 30 seconds, right? Up to a minute if you like, 3 times on either side there. Now, one last variation to this stretch as well is you can do this in a chair. So just sitting down in the chair, what you can do is remember you want your legs always pointing forward. You don't want it to move side to side as you move, otherwise you're not going to get a full stretch. But simply all you're going to do is rotate as far as you can go. And the benefit of doing this in a chair is that you can actually use the chair to hold you in place. Some people, they like to have their arm down here too to kind of push against the leg to get a fuller stretch. But again, you should be feeling this pretty much from the lower back going up to about the mid back as well. And remember again, 30-second hold to a minute on either side, 3 times on each side. All right, so another important component to a lower posture is understanding that usually the glutes or the muscles back here, your butt muscles, are usually pretty weak, all right? And this is a huge postural muscle that a lot of us have to work on because a lot of us have jobs that require us to sit down in front of a computer or a desk, and that usually weakens these muscles as well. So I'm going to show you some variations to this, but the first one is going to require a ball, all right? So you can use a soccer ball, a basketball like I have here, or even a stability ball if it's not too big, and you're going to actually have it in between your legs. Now this exercise is similar to the glute bridge that you've seen before, but what we're actually doing is we're activating other parts of the leg as well. So mainly what we call your adductors, your adductor muscles in the leg, okay? At the same time. So what you're going to do, like I said, is you have the ball in between your legs like this. You're going to come back, create a base with your arms on the ground, and what you're going to do is first squeeze the ball in between your legs, right? Bring your legs together. And doing so, what you're going to do is bring your legs up like this. So with activation, you're going to feel it into the glutes and in your inner thigh as well. So typically with something like this, you want to be able to work your way up to holding it for 10 seconds, right? But if it's too much for you, you can start at lower holds, maybe 5, work up to 8, and then eventually 10-second holds, and doing it up to about 10, 15 times if you can in one go, okay? And then just coming back down like this. Again, squeezing and going up, trying to lift your pelvis as high as you can so that you can feel the activation into your glutes and also in between your legs there. And then back down like this. So another variation to a glute strengthening exercise here is using resistance bands, okay? Now, something like this you could probably find online, or if you can go to a sports store and they'll have these available as well. But what this is going to do is it's going to go wrapping around your legs like so. So getting inside of it like this. You're going to have it go at about knee or just above knee level there, okay? So what you want to do with this is what we call a crab walk. And all we're really going to go is lateral movement side to side, all right? So if you go about this width here, you want to kind of squat down, but make sure your posture is still upright in doing so. You can have your hands on your hips to maintain that posture as well. And then what you're going to do is come back up. You can go back down and come back up. And you can go about 4 or 5 times one direction and then 4 or 5 times in the other direction as well, just to make sure you're getting both legs there, okay? So you want to hold it for a little bit as you go down, just to make sure that you're activating into the glutes, but again, you're also activating into the outer portion of your leg, which can be weak as well. So again, another important component, we already know that the lower back is usually tight with a poor posture, but one other thing is that your abdominal muscles are usually not engaged or not strong enough, and that's what leads to poor posture as well. So with this next exercise, what we're going to do is stretch the lower back, but also activate the abdominal muscles at the same time, all right? So all you're simply going to do is you're going to have your hands behind your back, because this is going to be a good tell for you, or a good way to check if your lower back is actually stretching. So what I want you to think of is you have bones on the front of your hip or pelvis right in through here, and you're going to think of those bones going up toward your head like this. So notice that there's a rotation into my pelvis going in this direction, and that actually activates into your abdominal muscles, all right? But at the same time in doing so, what you'll notice is that your back starts to flatten out, and with your hands back here, it actually presses down onto it, okay? So that's where we get the stretch into the lower back. So again, what you're thinking of is the bones going towards your head, all right? Activating into the abdomen and pressing down onto your hands to stretch the lower back. So with something like this, you want to hold for maybe up to 5 seconds at a time. But again, repetition-wise, you want to go anywhere from 10 to 15 at a time. So another stretch that is important, and Dr. Ongko went over this in a previous video as well, but we want to target what we call the hip flexor or psoas muscle, right? Now, usually in a lot of people, this is pretty tight, and again, it leads to poor posture. But another understanding is that it actually leads into what we call the quadriceps or the quad muscles in the legs as well. So we want to have a stretch that's able to target the hip flexors, but also the quads at the same time. So a good way to do this is usually on an elevated surface like your bed or your couch. But again, as a disclaimer, this does involve some movement into the lower back, so make sure you're not feeling too much tension or irritation into the lower back when you're doing this, depending on your spine, okay? So what you're going to do is lying down on the surface or on elevated surface like this, you're going to go close to one side. And the reason being is because you're going to have your leg hang off the side like this. Now to stabilize yourself, you can have the other leg like this, or to make it an even better stretch, you can actually bring this knee toward your chest, because notice that this one kind of wants to come up with it. But what you'll notice is gravity acts on it and starts to pull it down. Now, one last component to this is you want to think of your heel on this leg down here. You want to bring your heel towards your butt as much as you can, okay? So again, in doing so, we're stretching here into the hip flexors, and by kicking the heel back, we're getting into the quad muscles at the same time, all right? So again, with your stretches, holding for at least 30 seconds, you can go up to a minute, and we're gonna go 3 times on each side. So again, be mindful if you're feeling anything into the lower back, any irritation, then this might not be a good stretch for you. So remember, to get the most out of these exercises, it's best that you do these on a regular basis. But don't forget to consult with your chiropractor as well to make sure that these are all appropriate for your spine. In our next video, we're going to be venturing still within the realm of posture, but we're going to show you how bad posture, especially in the neck, can lead to symptoms down into the arms like numbness and tingling. So you can click right over here to check our previous videos about postural exercises that are beneficial for you. And click down here so you can subscribe to our channel to check out our future videos as well. If you like our videos, remember to press the like button and turn on the notification bell so you know when these videos are coming out. And don't forget, a healthy spine is a healthy life.